Today on The Sharp Reality, I'm going to tell you why female strength is a myth. TSR Live starts right now.
Previously on TSR Live.
Let's keep it real here, guys. When you send your resume to a company and the hiring manager sees the name Jaquan Divine Harris, all right, guys, he is more than likely to dismiss you as a potential candidate. We can all, oh, he shouldn't. Guys, we know he shouldn't, okay? But guess what? This is the real world. When hiring managers get resumes like this, their resumes are a lot of the times their resumes are thrown in the trash, or they are disregarded just because of the spelling of the name or what kind of name. This is just how it is.
And now your man, Donovan Sharp.
What's up, guys? It's your man Donovan Sharp, and welcome to this edition of TSR Live on a Wednesday. It is September 13th, 2017. Yesterday's show was great, man. A lot of good comments, great interaction with the audience. Had a lot of fun. You guys definitely came strong with the knowledge and interaction. So that yesterday was definitely one of the more enjoyable shows that I've had. I always like to be able to interact with my audience, learn from you guys, etc., etc. So hopefully we can certainly continue that today. Looks like John Jones's B sample came back positive. For those of you who aren't familiar with this situation, John Jones fought Daniel Cormier in the main event of UFC 214 back in July. He won by knockout in the third round. It was a TKO, but of course that's always, that's what they call a knockout. He threw a kick that Cormier misjudged as a low kick, so he defended low. And so Jones is, of course, who threw a high kick instead of a low kick. Jones's leg missed his guard and landed on the side of Cormier's face. So Cormier was wobbled, and it didn't take long for Jones to finish him off. Then Jones tested positive for turinabol, which is an anabolic steroid. Standard operating procedure is to also test the B sample. Standard operating procedures to test the B sample if the A sample is positive for a banned substance or performance-enhancing drug, and it appears that the B sample also tested positive for turinabol. So that fight's been ruled as a no contest, and Jones is looking at a pretty lengthy suspension, which will effectively end his MMA career. Listen, he's looking at 4 years. He could come back at 34. But he'll be well past his prime, and people aren't going to take him seriously, nor will they buy his fights. So it looks like he's done, at least in the UFC. For my money, really, John Jones is probably the best talent I've ever seen in mixed martial arts. I mean, it's disappointing because he could have been as great as Anderson Silva, and a lot of people said that he was better than Silva, but 2 suspensions for performance-enhancing drugs has obviously changed that narrative. Now, for those of you who are familiar, with my stance on PEDs or performance-enhancing drugs, you guys know I'm not a black and white guy on this. I don't have a problem with them in baseball. Don't have a problem with them in basketball. Football, I lean in favor of athletes using them for recovery. But if linebacker X gets popped for steroids or HGH, I ain't tripping. But when it comes to combat sports like boxing, kickboxing, MMA, I am staunchly against it, man. You could really hurt somebody if you're on steroids. And it's funny, a lot of people now, these days, make fun of the movie Rocky IV, and they'll joke around that Ivan Drago wouldn't have really killed Apollo Creed if he were really on steroids. But for those of us who are old enough to remember the story anyway, Dooku Kim died at the hands of Ray Mancini back in 1982. That was a boxing match. Now, Mancini wasn't on steroids, at least not that we know of, and the fight ended in the TKO in the 14th round. So it wasn't a second round devastating headshot like in the second round, of the mythical Drago Creed fight. But the fact of the matter is that if a man who is presumably not on steroids could end a man's life in the ring, a man on steroids could certainly do the same. And that's not counting other serious injuries that a man could sustain fighting someone else who's on the juice or on steroids. So Jones's career in MMA is pretty much done at this point. I think it's safe to say. Danica Patrick's finally getting kicked out of the circuit. Not technically kicked out. She's, she's not going to be racing for Stewart-Haas next year. They didn't say we're firing Danica Patrick, but that's what this is. Danica Patrick, she hasn't come close to winning a race. And it doesn't really look like anyone's going to bring her to their race team. Guys, again, listen, man, she was a shitty driver who predictably started fucking another driver a half an hour after she got into the NASCAR circuit and never really came close to winning. I think she finished in the top 10 twice. She should have stayed in IndyCar because she was actually a half-decent driver. But now she's rich, and once women are wealthy, they tend to lose all motivation to do anything else. So hopefully she slinks away and, I don't know, maybe, who knows, hopefully she, poses in Maxim again. Maybe she does porn, whatever. So long as she's not in a race car, I don't really give a shit what she does. Okay, well, enough about sports. Let us get to the topic du jour. Today, guys, I'm going to talk about the myth of female strength compared to what real female strength is and what it should be. Not the female strength peddled to us by television, movies, social media. I'm talking real life, honest to goodness feminine strength that real women who really want to be feminine should embrace. But before I do that, I'm going to compare male strength to female strength. Strong women these days, they're touted as being the best option for men. Okay, wife up a strong woman and you'll never have problems. She can lift you up when you're down. She'll challenge you to be your best, and on and on and on. The problem is, guys, is that these women are only good options in the movies or in television shows. And the relationships that occur on screen are fictional and false. They're not for real. It just doesn't work that way in the real world. A marriage or a long-term relationship with a woman who is strong, okay, has a career and attempts to exhibit masculine level strength, it never works out, guys. Ever. It never does. So let's take a look at male strength and how females try to emulate it and why it does not work for them. Let's start with the obvious, physical strength. Male strength, guys, is pretty straightforward. The things that make a man strong have to be earned, which means it takes discipline and experience to build real-world masculine strength for men. Now, obviously, men were born bigger, faster, stronger than women. The disparity in terms of raw physical strength between men and women is vast. And listen, men can further cultivate. We can further cultivate our strength by lifting weights, taking up a martial art, or any number of things that builds up our bodies and makes us physically stronger. Now, men who are physically strong, men who can fight, men who can throw hands, men who can aptly defend themselves, men like this are revered and respected throughout the world because a physically strong male is more attractive and more capable, again, of not only defending himself, but protecting his woman and his offspring from danger, protecting his woman and his kids. Not to mention that they're also feared. Right? Which is, of course, is another form of respect. I'm sure when people go up to Mike Tyson when he's out and about and they ask for pictures, there is a healthy level. Listen, Mike Tyson just turned 50 years old. Listen, man, I'm 10 years his junior and I wouldn't fight him. I've heard that his fists are like the size of my head and I've got a pretty sizable melon. The point is that Mike Tyson's physical strength is his fighting prowess. And don't get it twisted, guys. This guy grew up in Brownsville, Brooklyn. He was in street fights long before he ever got paid to fight in the ring, so he can definitely throw those hands, but that fear that people have for Mike Tyson is also a healthy form of respect. Women attempt to copy this physical strength by touting themselves as physical equals. Again, guys, movies and television shows consistently portrays women fighting toe-to-toe with men, and most of the time they're winning those fights. Okay, and they're fighting guys that are bigger and stronger than they are, and they're winning those fights. Females want the reverence, they want the respect, and they want the fear that strong men have, because those are favorable things to have as a man, as a person. Where the disconnect happens is that women simply cannot elicit those same feelings regardless of how many steroids they pump themselves up with. Even if she's a top 1%er in female strength, female physical strength, dude, she's not going to be able to kick the average man's ass. That's just how it is. I remember a while back when I was in Vegas, I worked for this small company. It was a mom and pop shop. Good people that ran the organization. Anyway, I remember discussing MMA with a female. And the reason we started discussing it is because ESPN had put up a poll asking people who would win in a fight, Floyd Mayweather Jr. or Ronda Rousey. For those of you who follow sports, this was right around the time of, right before the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight, and ESPN was trying to shame Mayweather, because of his domestic violence because of his domestic violence convictions and jail time. He paid his debt to society. Clearly, that's never enough for ESPN. Anyway, they put up the poll, tried to mock him. So not surprisingly, guys, 77% of the people polled by ESPN said that Rousey would win that fight. And I laughed. I voiced my amusement. And so the girl says to me, the girl says that she could easily have beat him, Floyd Mayweather. So she said that Ronda Rousey could easily beat Floyd Mayweather and myself, Donovan Sharp. And I laughed even harder. And she asked me, and it was funny, she looked at me as though this was the most obvious thing in the world. She says, Ronda Rousey's a professional fighter, Donovan. You're not. She would beat you because she's a professional, and you are not a professional fighter. So I kept laughing. I said, sweetheart, okay, I'm 6'1", whatever I was at the time, 265. I said, I'm 6'1", 265, okay? Ronda Rousey is 5'7", 135, and that's her fighting weight. I told her that I would end her inside of 15 seconds because I'm a man and I weigh more than 100 pounds more than she does. Well, we went back and forth for a little while. And, listen, obviously she was a feminist. She grew increasingly agitated because I wouldn't concede my defeat in my mythical match against Rousey. But the point is that women out here actually believe that women are equally as physically strong as men. Even women who are giving away 100 pounds to a grown man, okay? That works in the movies. That works on television shows. That works on the big screen. That doesn't work in real life. And listen, all you guys have to do, all any woman has to do, is a quick YouTube search. Just do a search for men hitting women back, and guys, you'll see scores of reminders that a man could crush a woman in an instant if he chose to. Okay, I was actually watching. A viewer sent me the Willie Williams show, which is some funny fucking shit. I actually subscribed to his channel. He's a funny motherfucker. And this girl two bitches are fighting each other, and one girl jumps in and says, break up the fight. And a dude there is like, no, let him fight. She wants to talk. She said she wanted to throw hands. Now she's getting her ass kicked. Blah 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 blah. And so the girl walked up to the dude and said, break up the fight. And he's like, you better step up off me. She's like, you ain't gonna hit me. You ain't gonna be. He popped her once and dropped her like a sack of fucking potatoes. She sat there bleeding from the mouth and cried and looked up at him like, I can't believe you actually hit me. This is what happens. Okay? Chicks who fight men have no chance. And a lot of these women are bigger than the men they accost, and they still get their asses kicked. The bottom line, guys, is that no matter what women do, no matter what they say or think, men are physically superior in every way, shape, form, and situation. We are bigger, faster, stronger. We have more muscular stamina. We have more wind in our lungs. We have more cardiovascular stamina. That's why women don't ride in the Tour de France, guys. The sooner, honestly, the sooner women acknowledge this in their actions, the better off we'll all be. They won't have broken faces. We wouldn't be out here catching charges. Now, on the mental side, a man's mental strength is really what separates him from other men. Now, granted, genes have a lot to do with a man's physical makeup and his I guess his raw intelligence level. Some people are just smarter than others, but mental fortitude, mental strength is something that's built through experience and upbringing. A man who experiences little strife, a man who doesn't go through mental strife in his life, a man who is raised in a non-chaotic household, two-parent household, a peaceful life, etc., etc. That guy's going to be far weaker upstairs, okay, than a man who's been through or seen some shit in his life. All right, and the females too. I mean, any female who was raised in the hood or had a rough upbringing is going to have more mental strength than a girl who was raised in suburbia, in a two-parent household. Everything is hunky dory. Similar to physical strength, guys, your psychological durability is something that you can build and cultivate. Martial arts can definitely help you in this area because both your mind and your body are under constant physical duress. Learning a new language or a skill, like reading or purposely putting yourself in uncomfortable situations are two very good ways to increase your mental strength. Guys, men are mentally superior to women. Not only are we smarter on average, we're more rational, we're more reasonable, and we're not governed by our emotions nearly as often as women are. This explains why women make stupid decisions at a much higher rate than men, because they base a lot of their decisions and their choices on feelings or whatever other females are doing, which is usually the wrong thing, as we all know. Another reason for our advantage when it comes to cerebral brawn is just chemistry and biology. Diseases, I mean, like, you think about this, diseases and mental illnesses and disorders notwithstanding, we as men, guys, and think about this, men are chemically identical from one day to the next. Okay, yes, we have emotions and everything like everybody else, but by and large, guys, we're the same up here each and every day. We are mentally identical when we all wake up. Women, on the other hand, guys, these bitches are all over the map. Okay, and if you doubt this, any man or woman who's watching this that says, well, men and women are mentally equal, no. Anybody who doubts this, just take a look at a woman's menstrual cycle. Okay, 1/3 of the month she's bleeding out of her pussy, which means cramps, bloating. That obviously causes agitation, irritability, lack of focus, etc., etc. Another 1/3 of the month, her body's preparing itself for the upcoming period called premenstrual syndrome, which we all know to be PMS. Now, when women are PMSing, they're bitching, they're bitchy, they're short-tempered. They're just otherwise insufferable human beings. The last 1/3 of the month is when they're ovulating, which sends them into heat. This is the time when women are thinking about cock 24/7 and will stop nothing to get it. They'll stop at nothing to get it. That's all they want to think about is cock, cock, cock. They're not focused on anything else but that. The point is that women are not even close to mental consistency. And guys, we haven't even talked about their feminine hard drive, which obviously doesn't do them any favors either. This is the main reason why most women fail miserably in positions of leadership, guys. During a 30-day period, they experience 30 different variations of 30 different moods and handle them 30 different ways. I mean, would you entrust your Fortune 500 company, okay, to a creature who's in a perpetual state of chemical change and imbalance? Yeah, me neither. As always, you guys can follow me on Twitter at Donovan_Sharp. I'm actually in Twitter jail right now. If you guys are wondering why I haven't tweeted out, like, I can still like tweets, but my Twitter actions at this point are restricted because I called some bitch a dyke on Sunday, and Twitter they didn't suspend my account, but they limited my functionality on Twitter. So I'm not going to be able to tweet out until Monday. But you can still follow me on Twitter at Donovan_Sharp. Make sure you like my Facebook page, TSR Live with Donovan Sharp. I'm gonna, like I said, I'm working on coming up with some exclusive content specifically for Facebook. So definitely stay tuned for that. Follow me on Instagram. Just do a quick search for Donovan Sharp. My username is The Sharp Reality. That's mainly my lifestyle social media page. I'll post meals, juices, green juice, orange carrot, tomato juice, stuff like that. More of a lifestyle page. If you guys want to get in contact with the show, you can either do it through chat right here on YouTube. You can also go to my website, thesharpreality.com. Just go to the contact tab. Drop me a line. If you guys have any questions, comments, show ideas, personal stories, the good, bad, and the ugly, guys. I'll certainly shame you, but it'll be constructive shaming if you guys give me a simp tail. You can also tweet the show at the hashtag TSR Live with Donovan Sharp. So let's go to the chat, see who we got going on here. Silent Thriller, what's going on? Ruminant Malinoid, what's going on? What's up? Freelance Ronin, TSR in full effect. Taylor Watson says, you watch NASCAR. I'm from Raleigh, North Carolina. Taylor, I lived in Raleigh for 5 years, and I lived in North Carolina on and off for the better part of the last of 20 years. So I am very, very familiar with NASCAR, and I'm also familiar with the fact that Danica Patrick won the Twin Rings race in Japan. Listen, Danica Patrick was not a bad IndyCar driver. She won a race, just like you said, the Twin Rings in Japan. And guys, in the 2005 Indy 500, she was the leader. She led the Indianapolis 500, I think, with maybe 10 laps to go. Dan Weldon ended up winning that race. And Dan Weldon ended up winning that race, and I think Patrick finished in either 4th or 5th. I mean, guys, she was a good driver. She really was. Tony Stewart. God, dude. Taylor, I shit you not, man. Tony Stewart was my favorite driver in NASCAR. This is unbelievable. The reason why I like Tony Stewart is because he used to do the Memorial Day weekend double. What he would do is he would race the Indy 500, and then he'd jump on a helicopter, fly to Charlotte from Indianapolis, and then race in the Coca-Cola 600. I said, oh, this guy's a fucking gangster. I think I'm going to follow him. And so he won 3 titles, eventually retired, became an owner, and made the egregious mistake of signing Patrick. Listen, he probably made a lot of money off of her, but he probably knew that he wasn't going to win any races with Patrick, as she is a shitty stock car driver. Let's see what else we got. Yep, Deep 1985. What's going on? Contrarian Expatriate just says that he just signed up as a Patreon. Thank you very much. I appreciate the support, there, Contrarian Expatriate. Yeah, you guys can support me on Patreon. Just go to patreon.com/Donovan Sharp. Just pledge a couple bucks a month. It doesn't matter one way or the other. Whatever you guys want to do. Water down, women. Okay, very good. Yeah, AR4 says even a low T male has around 10 times more testosterone than a high T female. Yeah, that is 100% accurate. Illimitable Man, we talk about, and I've done a half a dozen podcasts with him, and I've got another one coming up here real soon. Yeah, Illimitable Man is very learned and very well versed in testosterone replacement there and TRT. And yeah, like he'll throw all the statistics at you, and that was one of the ones that even a low T male has infinitely more testosterone than a high T female. Let's see who else we got. Freelance Ronin. Okay, so Freelance Ronin says only a thing in the entertainment industry these days. There are very few notable female warriors in ancient times, mainly just Joan of Arc. And a few female samurai in ancient Japan. Yeah, Joan of Arc was, she was basically a loudmouth. She got burned at the stake. She couldn't really fight. But yeah, guys, like, have you noticed and guys, I don't have to tell you guys if you've noticed, but if you're paying attention, everything is completely gone female. The Ghostbusters reboot was female. Wonder Woman is now the biggest fucking thing since Superman. There's a Supergirl show now on CW. The new Mummy that Tom Cruise is in, the Mummy is now female. Like, it's fucking vagina everywhere. Like, you get fucking vagina thrown at us all the time, and bitches are out here wondering, what's wrong with guys? Why don't they pay attention to us? Dude, we're getting pussy thrown in our faces all the goddamn time. But yeah. Fake name says females in F1, LOL. No, fake name, actually, no. Danica was an IndyCar. Formula One is a different circuit. And that is absolutely an alpha fucking male sport. I'm sure there have been females who have driven in Formula One, but they certainly haven't lasted long. I mean, you've got guys like, dude, Michael Schumacher, David Coulthard, Paul Tracy, I think, raced Formula One the Formula One, Jacques Villeneuve. I mean, the Formula One drivers, those guys are alpha fucking males, man. They're not having bitches. They're not trying to drive around bitches. But listen, Danica Patrick was a talented driver. This is why she made the IndyCar series, and she was a half decent driver. Financially, she made the right move. She's set for life financially. Tony Stewart made the right move financially, but she was exposed as the shitty driver that she was. So, Mr. Old School Writer disagrees. Says, no, she wasn't, bro. She just had great marketing behind D. Patrick. No. Listen, Danica was a very bad stock car driver. She wasn't a bad IndyCar driver. Listen, man, she won the Twin Rings in Japan. She did that. So, and she finished, I think, 3rd or 4th in the 05 Indy 500. So the talent was there behind the wheel. But again, she's a woman. And once she achieved a measure of fame, this is what happens with women. Women aren't as driven as men. Once they achieve a certain level of fame and fortune, you know, most of them, especially when it comes to a male-dominated sport, like acting is different. Acting and singing is different. But once women achieve a certain level of wealth and fame, they kind of just ride the coattails. Men stay driven. There's a reason Michael Schumacher is the greatest Formula One driver ever, because the fire always kept burning. He wanted to win more. Jimmy Johnson, when all is said and done, he'll be the greatest NASCAR driver ever. He's won 7 titles and he wants to win more. Danica, she won a race in Twin Rings, got some notoriety for finishing 4th at Indy, and she parlayed that into a multi-million dollar deal with Stewart Haas Racing. Mr. Old School Writer says she couldn't even win on Super Mario Kart. Classic game, by the way. I love it. Black Gnostic Speaks is in the motherfucking house. He says the new name for female simps, Lois Lames. I like it. Cool, Coley, what's going on, man? Good to see you in here, CC. And yeah, I do know NASCAR too. I don't know anyone who knows as much about sports as I do. I mean, I could have a 30-minute conversation with you about Leah Westwood, who is, I don't know, what, the 48th ranked golfer in the world, and then I could talk to you about how Martin Truex Jr. is probably going to win this year's NASCAR Cup title, and about how Tony Kanaan needs to get off the schneid because he hasn't won a race in I think a year and a half or so. So yeah, like my sports knowledge. I mean, I consume sports just about all the time. So I'm a big sports fan, anything competitive. So yeah, there isn't much I can't talk about in that regard. I love that Lois Lames, man. This is great. Okay. Let's get back to the topic at hand. So we talked about what female strength is not. So now I'm going to talk about what real female strength is, and I'm not using air quotes this time. I'm actually going to talk about what real, honest to goodness female strength is. Number one, the first tentacle of female strength, and there are many more, but these are going to be the main ones. Real female strength, guys, is standing by her man when the chips are down. No, he doesn't need her to be his rock or his foundation like all these fucking idiots out here are talking about. And if he did need her to be his rock, she wouldn't be with him in the first place. She would have sniffed that beta trait out a long time ago and never allowed him to commit to her. Men are built to withstand high levels of physical and mental stress. And when it arrives, we don't need a woman to lift us up, okay? What we need is her support and her compliance during times of strife. It takes a strong woman to stick by a man who's going through a shitstorm because that's the difficult thing to do. Weak women, what they do is they jump shit when shit gets real because that's the easy thing to do. It's easy to bail out on a man when he's going through tough times, all right? It's much harder to stick around and see things through, which is why most women don't do this. They want to say they're strong, but they don't do the strong things. They don't do the difficult things, like stick by her man during times of strife or uncertainty. Real female strength is also understanding the difference between male infidelity and female infidelity. And guys, listen, this is a big one, and there are multiple layers to this. Women who are truly strong in a feminine sense know that just because her husband or her boyfriend steps out on her doesn't mean he doesn't still love her. And we're talking about women who belong to 5%ers, the top level alpha males. There are thousands of women, guys, who are married to millionaires, billionaires, professional athletes, and, celebrities. The list goes on. And they all know and understand that men are biologically hardwired to seek out and fuck young, pretty girls. This is what we're hardwired to do. They understand that men and women are not created equal. A strong woman acknowledges these differences, accepts them, and doesn't use it as an excuse to act up or get out of pocket. Again, very difficult to do. Gentlemen, don't kid yourselves. This is far from easy. But this is why weak women This is why weak women what happens with weak women is they make life as difficult as possible for the men who cheat on them because A, she doesn't understand the difference between male and female infidelity, and B, even if she did, she doesn't want to acknowledge it because it's easy not to. You understand what I'm saying? Listen, think about this, guys. Most men who cheat on their wives never leave their wives for the side chick, nor do they have the desire to. They're not thinking about that stuff. When we as men cheat, we cheat mainly for sex and that's it, all right? Love and sex are not synonymous with one another in the mind of a male. Just because he likes fucking one woman more than his wife or his main chick doesn't mean he doesn't still love his wife or his main chick. Love and sex are separate for men. That's how it works. But women who cheat on their husbands or their boyfriends either end up leaving them for the dude they're fucking, they fall in love with him, or they at least make an attempt to leave their husbands. She can have the alpha fucks and the beta bucks without having to live with the alpha fucks, which is exactly why women initiate divorce more than 80% of the time. They start the divorce papers. They've got the alpha dick, they've got the alpha cock in all three of their holes while they're getting child support payments from the ex-husband. The point is that love and sex are one and the same with women. So when they cheat, they do it for sex, but they also do it for many, many other reasons, which is why they close off emotionally from the men that they are cheating on. And there's another element to this part of a female strength as it applies to male and female infidelity. And pay attention, guys, because this is extremely important for both men and women to understand. We all know that women want a man who's 6'4". He's got movie star looks, washboard abs, a 10-inch cock, a 10-figure salary. We all know about the mythical man who is the object of every woman's unrealistic desires, right? We all know about this stuff. But here's the real delusion. They also want this unicorn to be 100% faithful. Newsflash, ladies. Any man with those statistics ain't gonna be faithful. Why? Because other chicks want to fuck him. Other chicks want to be with him. Ladies, you know you're not the only woman attracted to him, and you know damn well you're not the only woman he's attracted to. I mean, seriously, keep it real, okay? Expecting a man like this mythical man to stay faithful, it's like leaving a steak in your dog's crate and expecting your dog not to eat the steak. Okay? It's in a dog's nature to eat the steak, just like it's in our nature to fuck multiple women. It is in our nature as men to be polygamous. It is not in a woman's nature to fuck multiple men because it is in her nature to be monogamous, which is why most of today's women are fucking miserable. Look, guys, and again, they can deny this all they want to. This is how it is. Look at the state of women. Any woman who's fucking any man who's fucking a bunch of chicks is satisfied and happy with life and himself. Even if he never gets married or has any kids, he's still generally content with himself. He might have regrets about not starting a family or having a son to carry on his name, but it doesn't keep him awake at night, doesn't keep him up, and it doesn't cause him to close off or commit emotional suicide. Women, on the other hand, who are sleeping with a bunch of dudes are never happy. A woman who never gets married or never has kids is anxious and depressed. The biological purpose of a woman is to procreate. And when they can't or won't, they're sad and fucking miserable until death. That's how it is. They can deny it all they want to. That's how it is. A man regretting not having a family won't fuck him up mentally. Okay? It absolutely mind fucks females. And if you don't believe me, go talk to a spinster, you know. Go talk to a cougar who's not married, who doesn't have kids. You can see the sadness and the fucking misery right in her eyes. It's written all over her face. Now, these women who are slutting around always seem to be happy when talking to their friends about the 8 dudes they're fucking, but they're not happy because they're hardwired to be with one man exclusively. There's no sexual double standard here, guys. Fuck what they're telling you. There's no such thing as a sexual double standard. Men and women are different. Let's get biological with it, right? A woman can only give birth to a certain number of babies during a certain number of years. But we as men, we can impregnate women until the day we die. So all you have to do is apply simple mathematics and biology to sexuality. There's no other conclusion to draw. Real female strength is understanding and acknowledging this truth, no matter how difficult it may be for her to deal with emotionally. No, women don't like getting cheated on. Okay? But women who belong to 5%ers of the world, they know and understand that this is part of the bargain. Okay? Remember the fat girls I tell you about who want to be skinny but don't want to put in the work? Okay? Remember the girls who, I forgot the example that I used, but girls always want the best of everything, but they don't want to pay the price. Women who belong to 5%ers say to them subconsciously, no. They say, okay, I've got a man of value. He loves me. He takes care of me. He takes care of our kids. He fucks me. He blah, 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 blah. But by the same token, I know there's a cost to that. I know and understand that he's going to fuck around because I'm not the only woman who's going to be attracted to him. That's part of the deal. Every woman alive, whether she admits it or not, would rather get cheated on by a 5%er than be worshipped by a 95%er, and they know it. And saying that out loud ladies, saying that out loud as a woman doesn't make you weak. It makes you a woman. As hard as it is to say and acknowledge it out loud, it is the gospel fucking truth. The sooner you guys admit and acknowledge that and conduct yourselves as such, the better off you guys are going to be. If your man cheats on you, it's almost never personal. Maybe you're on your period. Maybe you just had a kid. Guys, ladies, we got to fuck, man. If you've been married to your husband for 10 years, you guys have 3 kids. If he goes out and fucks another broad, he's not leaving her. He's not leaving you for her. She's just a moist hole for him to stick his dick in. He loves you. Get over yourself. Like the video, guys. If you like the video, if you like what you see, if you like what you hear, we try to get this up to 100 likes. We try to get this up to 100 likes per video. If you guys get something out of the show, okay, subscribe to my channel. Tell your friends. Tell everyone with a penis that you know. And listen, anyone who pees standing up, tell them about the show if you think they can get something out of it. Even if someone you know is red pill aware, we all need that red pill booster shot. If you guys want to access the archive of the Sharp Reality of TSR Live, go to thesharpreality.com. On my homepage, you'll see all of the YouTube links, along with YouTube players. On the episodes page, you'll see all of the SoundCloud links. You can also go to soundcloud.com and type in the Sharp Reality. You guys can listen to the archive there. You can also listen to TSR Live on iTunes. And all you iTunes listeners, be sure to leave me a review. That helps to increase the profile of the show. Obviously helps to drive traffic. It gives me a better iTunes score. And of course, you can access it right here on YouTube. All right, so let's take a look at the chat and see who we've got going on in here. Machinist12388 asks what happened to Red Pill Sports? Yeah, my partner in crime, Doctore. He and I actually, we just did a show, and that's still in its infancy stages. Doctore's got some family issues going on, some pretty serious family issues going on, that he needs to address. But we try to get together. We try to get together periodically. But as soon as he gets things settled, out where he lives, that thing will definitely be up and running, to be sure. Let's see who else we've got in the chat. All right, Mr. Old School Writer. O'Shea Duke Jackson, ODJ, with the $20 super chat. Hashtag preach. I love it. Appreciate that, man. Listen, O'Shea Duke Jackson, he is the founder of NegroManosphere.com. He is the mastermind behind the new ebook on NegroManosphere.com called How to Stop Simping in 24 Hours, co-written by both myself and my man D Sim, aka I like to call him D Nice. D Nice is in the bad guy. Guys, 50 pages of rock solid red pill advice. If you guys want to listen, it's absolutely free, man. If you guys want a copy, head over to NegroManosphere.com, go to the contact section, put in your email address, and say, hey, I want a copy of How to Stop Simping in 24 Hours, and my man ODJ will get that over to you right away. So O'Shea, definitely appreciate the love there, and definitely appreciate the opportunity, to write for your site, increase my profile, learn from you guys as well. Deep 1985 says, what are your thoughts on polygamy? Oh man, polygamy, I think, this is the quagmire of polygamy. If men were allowed to marry more than one wife, if the entire world were like the state of Utah, Warren Jeffs and all that jazz, what would end up happening is that all of the 5%ers would have all of the women, and all of the 95%ers wouldn't have any of the women. And as we all well know, when dudes don't get pussy, they get violent. Listen, the school shooters, the Virginia Tech guy wasn't good with women. Elliot Rodger, who shot up, Santa Barbara or San Bernardino, did so because of a woman. Andres Lubis flew a plane, the German wings a few years back, flew a plane into the side of a mountain, killing him and 150 other people because of a woman. The Columbine boys, Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold, were depressed. They were on antidepressants, and they also had trouble with girls. Sexless beta males are, you guys might think that they're not a threat, but they're a fucking threat. Those are the motherfuckers that walk into schools and kill 38 people. So polygamy, I think, would quite literally unmake our sexual ecosystem. A side chick is one thing. 5 side chicks is one thing. Having 10 wives, that's quite another. It would not be a good thing. Listen, it sounds good in theory. I mean, I'd love to have 10 wives. Be able to fuck a different girl every night. But realistically speaking, that's just not conducive to a working and functioning society. Let's see here. Oh, ODJ knows freelance. Yeah, freelance runners. That's definitely my homeboy, man. I like that username as well. Lewis Key with the $5 contribution via Super Chat. Lewis, I appreciate the contribution. So I'm up to $25 on Super Chat for the day. Guys, listen, if you guys want to contribute to Super Chat, $1, $2, whatever you'd like to do. Mr. Dimitri says, great message today. Yeah. Listen, I've got more for you. I've got a couple more points that I'm going to hit on, so I'm not done yet. Definitely not done yet. Cool Coley CC says, get the likes up. Yeah, follow his lead. Let's get the likes up here. I like it. Black Gnostic Speak says, false female strength equals penis envy. Love it. Dude, truer words could not have been spoken. That's as accurate as they came. Yeah, O'Shea. My article came out today. I'm actually modeling this podcast after that particular article. If you guys want to read this version of the podcast, go to negromanosphere.com. And I think I'm the first or second one up there today, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah. Now this particular episode, this is far more extensive. I've added much more. But if you want the Cliffs Notes or the Reader's Digest version of today's show, go to negromanosphere.com and bookmark that particular episode. Silent Thriller said, "No fap made me strong as fuck, but I got dumber, so I quit." Yeah, listen, I'm a strong proponent of not jerking off. I remember when I jerked off, man, I was good for nothing. I really wasn't, but I can't remember the last time I jerked off, and because of that, I mean, it's improved every part of my life. Now, no fap or not jerking off or feigning from masturbation, it's not for everybody. Some guys say, look, like when I don't jerk off, all I think about is pussy, and I become a simp and a white knight because I want to get the pussy. That's understandable. I'm fortunate enough that my game level is high enough that I don't have to, as a result, like my high sex drive doesn't work against me, when it comes to females in game, etc. So, all right, very good, excellent. Yeah. O'Shea Duke Jackson says every Wednesday. Yeah, my articles drop every Wednesday over at negromanosphere.com. And guys, I drop bombs over there, man. I make those bitches mad and I make them wet. Like they all want to suck my dick, but they're they're pissed off because they want to suck my dick, but they can't admit it to themselves or anybody else. That's the real reason they get all up in arms. Listen, O'Shea, you should read some of the comments of episode, what was it, 110? Something about black women being undateable. You should go check that shit out. Fucking hilarious. All right, back to the topic at hand. My third tentacle in terms of what real female strength is. Real female strength, ladies, is giving your man sex whenever he wants it. A woman with real female strength, she knows that if a man needs sex, it is her duty to give it to him regardless of how she feels. Oh my God. Listen, man. Listen, you bitches out here talking about I have a headache and this and that. Listen, this is why guys cheat on you, man. This is what happens. This is why dudes don't stay with you because, oh, I have a headache. Or no. Headache, tiredness, not in the mood, or any other reason that would otherwise prevent her from giving it up. That's no excuse for a woman who is a strong, who has that real feminine strength. Okay? If he wants it, he gets it every single fucking time. Strong women, okay, real strong women, not masculine strong women, they know the importance of sex for men, and they know that if he doesn't get it from her, he's going to get it from somewhere else. Now, again, giving up the pussy when you're not feeling it isn't hard, but it's not easy, okay? To put this in a male perspective, imagine trying to fuck with a limp dick when you're not horny at that very moment, okay? Fortunately for women, I mean, there's lube, coconut oil, Astroglide, whatever. Even if she's dry down there, just fucking lube her up and go at it. But real women with real feminine strength, they put on their big girl panties and they take your cock. Of course, after they take off said big girl panties, or you can pull them to the side, whatever, whatever you want. The point is that real female strength is giving your man the pussy anytime he wants it. Now, weak women, they take the easy way out. And the way they do this is they use male desire to misbehave or attempt to manipulate him sexually. Then, like I talked about earlier, then she wants to lose her shit when she finds out he's fucking the waitress at Red Lobster. And then she wants to post on Facebook that she can't understand why he would do such a thing. And that all men are cheating dicks for no reason, even though she was the perfect woman, right? Number 4. And this is a big one. This is the last one here. Real female strength, guys, is not succumbing to the easy choice to be a slut in today's sexual climate. Guys, it's easy for women to fuck a bunch of dudes. It's easy for them to give in to the temptation and do what every female is out here doing, which is giving away their asses for free, for little to nothing. Buy them a half a drink and they're bending over. Okay? It's easy to swipe right when they're in heat, or feeling depressed, or feeling happy, or whatever reason it is they rationalize for being a slut. Being a slut is one of the easiest things a woman can do these days. But strong women abstain from behaviors that decrease their value as potential long-term mates for 5%ers. They see the long-term benefits of not being sluts, and they conduct themselves as such. This is how this works, okay? Again, guys, weak women give into temptation far more often than not, and then they rationalize their bad habits or their bad choices by telling themselves that everyone else is doing it and that she can simply hide her past when she's had her fill of random cock, right? But again, and I'll point this out again, real female strength is not doing what's easy. Guys, women have high sex drives too. There's no doubt about it. Guys, women want to fuck as much as we do, all right? Maybe not as often, but trust me, women get horny too. Okay, listen. You think it's easy not to fuck Richard in the warehouse with the washboard ass who's been flirting with her and I fucking her for the last 6 months? You think it's easy for her not to jump on Tinder and rent a cock for a night because she's ovulating? We can say, guys, and again, we can say whatever we want about women and we can slut shame them all we want. It's all true. That's fine. But not being a slut is much harder than being a slut is easy. Let me repeat that. Not being a slut is harder than being a slut is easy. So if a woman makes a conscious choice not to be a hoe, that is real feminine strength. Now, keep in mind that none of what I just mentioned in the 4 tentacles of real feminine strength has anything to do with masculine strength or channeling masculine traits. These are all feminine qualities in real female strength. Now, going back to comparing men and women, the strength of men as opposed to strength in women. Male strength is mostly proactive, and female strength is mostly temperance. Okay, let me explain here. Give you an example. Women don't have to go to the gym to be physically attractive. Okay, They just have to not eat crap all day. And the worst case scenario is that they're mildly attractive. Okay. Now, if she wants to be hot, yeah, she's got to hit the gym. She's got to squat. She's got to eat clean. She's got to do HGH and all the rest of that. And then she's got to have good genes. But being attractive as a woman doesn't take any proactive effort. Just don't eat junk food all the time. That's it. As men, guys, we don't have that luxury. Guys, we got to hit the gym. We got to work on building up our bodies to be physically attractive to women. A man who only watches what he eats but doesn't work out isn't going to get attention from a lot of women. Okay? We have to be proactive to be physically attractive. All women have to do is exercise self-discipline in her diet, and she's attractive. Another example is personality. A female could have the personality of a fucking doorknob, okay? But so long as she's not bitchy, so long as she's not aggressive, not a loudmouth, not respectable, not disrespectful, and so forth, men will find her easy to talk to. Men will find her easy to be around and subsequently attractive, okay? As men, we can't be that way. We can't be boring to women, okay? We've got to be outgoing. We've got to take charge. We have to be assertive, domineering, demanding, confident. The list goes on. Most men don't naturally have these personality traits, so a lot of times they have to be learned and cultivated to keep women attracted to them. Okay, we're the ones, guys. We're the ones who have to steer the ship and start those stimulating conversations with women. Okay, we're the ones who have to make them think. We're the ones who have to challenge them. We're the ones who have to learn how to do this stuff. But women don't. All they have to do is refrain from being insufferable, and they're good to go. So watch what you eat and refrain from being insufferable. And guess what? It's not easy for a woman to find find a man of value and get into a relationship of consequence. Okay. And listen, man, don't give me this. My woman has to be able to have an intelligent conversation with me and expand my mind and challenge me mentally. Dude, that's a bunch of fucking bullshit, and you know it, because women like that are, dude, they're epic fucking bitches, man. Okay? A woman who challenges you is just a woman who's looking to ruffle your feathers and watch you get flustered. They're fucking loudmouths and they yap all the goddamn time. They never shut the fuck up. You don't need that, and you damn sure don't want it. So, guys, don't give me that shit. Just because a woman can't have in-depth discussions with you about astrophysics or the hidden iambic pentameter within the works of Edgar Allan Poe doesn't mean she's a fucking dummy. All females know how to socialize on some level, and as long as they're not fucking bitches about it, that's more than enough for men. In the end, guys, women are nowhere close to the same as men, especially when it comes to strength, which includes mentally, physically, spiritually, and even emotionally. All right, men are emotionally stronger than women. We know this. And we're a hell of a lot smarter, too. Guys, open your eyes and quit buying into this bullshit myth that male and female strength are the same thing. They are not. Our strengths are very different from one another, and it's meant to be that way in order to complement each other within the construct of a sexual relationship. That's how this works. This creates a harmonious and balanced existence with the opposite sex. But unfortunately, women want their strength to be respected as male, and that's one of the main reasons sexual relations are fucked up in this part of the world. Like I talked about earlier, you guys can contribute to the show in plenty of different ways. You can be like O'Shea Duke Jackson, who contributed $20. You could be like Lewis Key, who contributed $5 via Super Chat. Definitely appreciate that. You guys can also contribute via Patreon, which Contrarian Expatriate did. I think it was not too long ago, like maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours ago. I saw that email there. Go to patreon.com/Donovan Sharp. Go to thesharpreality.com if you're a little bit short on cash. Right there at the top of my homepage, there is an Amazon link. Bookmark that Amazon link, guys, and do all of your Amazon shopping through that link, and you get to contribute to the show at no cost to you. Okay, just do your shopping, doesn't charge you anymore. The Amazon affiliate link gives TSR Live a cut of whatever you buy, and that is how you can support. That doesn't charge you anymore. It's completely free for you. Buy your whatever it is you buy on Amazon, weightlifting equipment, which is what you should be buying. Whatever it is you buy on Amazon, from draws to spark plugs, whatever, you can support the show in that way. And of course, you can also Scroll down to the bottom of the homepage of thesharpreality.com, and you can contribute via PayPal. So let's hit the chat here today, or let's hit the chat here again. See what we got going on. Reborn African says, I hear fighters and boxers say that masturbation is bad and makes you weak. Listen, I've heard that too. If you remember I think it was in Rocky 2. I think Mick said to Rocky, "Women weaken legs." Yeah, you know. Listen, when you fuck, when you ejaculate, whether it's via masturbation or fucking, yeah, your testosterone takes a temporary dip. And guys, again, masturbation and sexual intercourse, those are two different activities. It has the same outcome, but the pleasure centers that make masturbation pleasurable are not the same pleasure centers that make sex enjoyable and pleasurable. So when you ejaculate via masturbation, it affects your brain, it affects your T levels a little differently than if you're sticking your dick into an actual vagina. But I've heard that too. Listen, if I'm a fighter, nah, man, like I'm keeping women away. Like I don't need any of that. Like now after the fight, yeah, I'm gonna fuck you like I'm trying to kill you. But before the fight, if I'm in training camp, no women. That's how it is. The Project of Thought series says, quote, and this is a good one. He says, female strength is based off of their ability to conveniently become the victims when necessary. I agree with that, and I'll take it one step further. A lot of female strength comes from their ability to recruit men to come to their defense. Listen, a female is only as strong as the men that she can recruit to carry out whatever it is she wants to carry out. I can get your ass kicked. Well, of course you can, because you know dudes who are going to fucking white knight for you. Okay, women have an advantage in the court system because of the court system, which is mainly run by men. This is how it is. So any strength a woman has is directly tied to men, physically or mentally. That's just how it works. Freelance Ronan says, Donovan, I found out about the red pill like back in February or March. Oddly, when I was searching for parts for a repair job, somehow your site popped up on the list. You were like Morpheus. I have no idea how or why that did. I'll have to talk to my web guy about that. But hey, I mean, I'm glad you found me. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Dominic Short says, Donovan, you need to make a video on how you maintain such a high level of productivity. You are a beast with your content production rate. Yeah, listen, I'm a highly motivated individual. Listen, you can ask my woman, man. She asks me all the time, how can you get up at 5:30, 4 o'clock in the morning, and you're so high energy? Like you never. This is just how I'm wired, man. Listen, I had an article come out on at negromanosphere.com. I also had another article drop on Return of Kings, on Return of Kings today. So yeah. I mean, I definitely keep it moving. I definitely keep it churning with the content. If you're not high energy, if you're not naturally high energy, I probably owe my energy levels to a healthy life, a healthy lifestyle. I work out. I eat clean. I eat good and clean about 90% of the time, and testosterone replacement therapy. I'm 40 years old and I have the energy of a 20-year-old. This is why this is. But it also has to do with a lot of my hard wiring. Even in my blue pill days, man, I always high. I always had a high motor, and it's obviously benefiting me well in this sector as well. It's Looming says, Donovan slipping for a while there, 10-minute podcast, etc. Now the old Donovan is back. I was worried the girl was getting to him, but now I see he is back. Yeah, I was in a transitional period, trying to put the show together, making my main chick had to finish the vetting process and all that. But yeah, I mean that was the end game. My girl knows, she knows what I do. She knows that I'm passionate about what I do. She knows this comes first. So yeah, no, dude, I wasn't going anywhere. And listen, if things don't work out between me and her, guess what? I'm still doing TSR Live weekday afternoons at 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific. Don't get it twisted. Freelance Ronan says, great show structure as well. Well organized. Thanks for pointing that out, Ronan. I am extraordinarily meticulous in terms of the structure of the show. I have an in front of me, I've got my outline, I've got my notes about what I want to talk about, when I want to talk about it. I don't just, and listen, man, there are plenty of talented guys out there who are naturally gifted at this sort of thing. I'm not one of those guys. I can't just jump on camera and start waxing poetic about this or that. I've got to have my thoughts organized, and I have to know what I'm going to talk about, and I'm a very structured individual. And the vision that I had for the show is I'm trying to model this after a daily radio show, and daily radio shows are very organized, great content, but it's structured, it's organized, there's a plan, there's an execution of the plan, et cetera, et cetera. So I appreciate you pointing that out. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thank you. I appreciate that. Jamal Calvin says, will you do a video on the difference between male and female confidence? That is a good one. Sharp Assist, write that down for me. Email that to me, so that I can definitely keep that in the back. That is an excellent show idea. I had never ever thought about that. That is very, very good. Excellent suggestion there, Jamal. Very, very good. And there are many, many differences. I'm actually starting to put the show together in my mind now. Ronan says, my sensei told us not to masturbate before matches when I was still really active in the martial arts. Yeah, again, I would agree with that. And I don't have any experience. I mean, listen, I've been in plenty of fights in my life, and I don't know, okay, well, did I jerk off one day or before, or two? Did I fuck a girl 2 days? No, I mean, I don't know. I don't really know how my performance was, but I wouldn't be surprised if somebody actually put the data in front of me and said, yeah, Donovan, these few times you got your ass kicked, you jerked off 5 times the day before, and these times you kicked ass, you hadn't gotten laid in a month. That makes perfect sense. Again, when you ejaculate, you lose testosterone. Testosterone is the building block of the male male anatomy, the strength, the energy, the focus, and everything. So yeah, I would wholeheartedly agree with your sensei's sentiment in that. MMA Fan 3, what's up? I see you. AR4 says, when is Illimitable Man coming? Yeah, dude, I am. If you guys haven't figured it out, man, I am a private guy. He's very active on Twitter, but he doesn't make a lot of appearances. Listen, I consider myself to be very fortunate to be friends with Illimitable Man, because, dude, he was one of my red pill heroes back when I first started, back when I first found the red pill. I was like, oh my God, this guy's a god. And listen, man, I'm never going to get too big for this. I always, it's never lost on me how far I've come as a man because of the red pill. And even though, listen, even though I am and we talk a lot, we talk and communicate a lot, even though we're on a first name basis with one another, it's never lost on me what a fucking red pill superstar that guy is. And even sometimes even when I'm on podcasts with him, I sit there and think to myself during our shows, like, I can't fucking believe I'm doing my 5th or my 6th show with Illimitable fucking Man. So yeah, I'm gonna have him on here within the next couple of weeks. We're getting ready to lock that down. Taylor Walston says, hit the fucking like button. Yeah, get those likes up, guys. Absolutely. It's Lemming says, Donovan, I wouldn't ask these things if I didn't think you were quick on your feet, but if this girl, the same one you had to put in place. Very nice. Very, very. So It's Lemming says, Donovan, I wouldn't ask these things if I didn't think you were quick on your feet, but if this girl, the same one you had to put in place in Hawaii? Yes, she is. And this is the shirt. We went to Kailua Kona, Hawaii. Yes, my main chick is the girl who got out of pocket for a split second. Our tour bus driver on our way up Mount Mauna Kea said, who's having a good time in Hawaii? And my soon-to-be main chick at the time said, woo! And I looked her right in the eye and I said, rein that shit in. She said not a peep the whole trip. So yeah, good observation. Good observation. Obviously, this is a guy who's listened to me for a while. Very, very good. Well, that's going to do it for this episode of TSR Live. Once again, guys, it's been a pleasure. My thanks to Lewis as well as O'Shea Duke Jackson for your contributions to TSR Live. Guys, like the video. Follow me on Twitter at Donovan_Sharp. Don't forget to bookmark the Amazon link in my homepage to do your Amazon shopping. Talk to you guys tomorrow.